dutifully filed the submission and have considered the application in the light of the affidavits and the submissions by the parties and set out in the ruling what each party has stated, which I don't need to repeat. And from the parties' submissions and affidavits, the parties appreciate that the granting of an order for scrutiny and recount is not a matter of course, and as stipulated under Rule 29.2, which is stated in this ruling, sufficient reason has to be shown to the satisfaction of the court for such an order to issue. And I've considered the petition and the submissions, and I find that contrary to the respondent's submissions and the petitioners have not pleaded scrutiny in the petition, a prayer of the peruse of the prayers in the petition demonstrate otherwise. The petition and the application have indeed singled out Afweni 1, Afweni 2, Afweni Primary, Bulo Center, Benane Primary, Benane Primary 2, Benane Second 1, and Benane Secondary 2 as polling stations with disputed results. And from the foregoing, I'm persuaded that the polling stations which are the subject of the most scrutiny have been specifically identified in the pleadings. The burden to demonstrate a sufficient reason for scrutiny remains throughout with the applicant, or the applicants for that matter, and it all depends on the ability to marshal sufficient evidence to persuade the court that scrutiny is deserved. And the question that readily follows is whether sufficient reason has been given for this request, and the law and parameters to be achieved for an order of scrutiny and recount was settled by the Supreme Court in the case of Lagdera Munya, and also the case of Raila Amolo Odinga, which all the parties have relied upon. And in the instant application, the application for scrutiny and recount is grounded mainly on alleged irregularities, violence, and chasing away of good agents from the impunged polling stations. Besides that, these incidents affected the votes of the UDA candidate in favor of the third respondent. These alleged malpractices are summarized at paragraph 16 through to 40 of the petition, and the first, second, and third respondents have made specific responses. I have no doubt that the exercise will assist the court to verify the allegations by the parties. So it is therefore hereby ordered that the ballot boxes for the following polling stations shall be opened for inspection, scrutiny, and recount: Afweni Center 1, Afweni Center 2, Afweni Primary, Bulo Center, Benane Primary 1, Benane Primary 2, Benane Secondary 1, and Benane Secondary 2. The ballot boxes shall be delivered to the Deputy Registrar, Milimani Commercial and Tax Division, Benane Primary 2, Benane Second 1, and Benane Secondary 2 as polling stations with disputed results. And from the foregoing, I'm persuaded that the polling stations which are the subject of the most scrutiny have been specifically identified in the pleadings. The burden to demonstrate a sufficient reason for scrutiny remains throughout with the applicant, or the applicants for that matter, and it all depends on the ability to marshal sufficient evidence to persuade the court that scrutiny is deserved. And the question that readily follows is whether sufficient reason has been given for this request, and the law and parameters to be achieved for an order of scrutiny and recount was settled by the Supreme Court in the case of Lagdera Munya, and also the case of Raila Amolo Odinga, which all the parties have relied upon. And in the instant application, the application for scrutiny and recount is grounded mainly on alleged irregularities, violence, and chasing away of good agents from the impunged polling stations. Besides that, these incidents affected the votes of the UDA candidate in favor of the third respondent. These alleged malpractices are summarized at paragraph 16 through to 40 of the petition, and the first, second, and third respondents have made specific responses to the allegations in the petition, including a response to paragraph 16 through to 40 of the petition. Additionally, the respondents have also opposed the application along the lines summarized in this petition. Scrutiny is defined as court-supervised forensic investigation into the validity of the votes cast in an election. The applicants, in their